Prophet Marcello Kurtz. I get it. Alright, so this is part 2 of civil unrest, civil war, and basically how it's gonna all start. Civil war and the catalyst. So like we covered in part 1, basically you're gonna have catalysts, 2 major catalysts that's really gonna probably hit this one. The assassination of Trump and this ongoing immigration problem. To me, it's looking more like the immigration problem. The immigration problem is looking like civil war. Because what's going to happen is ultimately the more they kill people here and do certain things, it's going to cause curfews and possible martial law. That's what's going to happen. It's going to cause curfews and possible martial law. I mean, you can kind of see it if you like. Me, I don't know. I just know how to see patterns and know where it's going, right? With all the immigration, the illegal immigration, all the killing that they doing when they get over here, all the crimes they doing when they get over here, that's not going to stop. That's not going to ever stop. They've been alerted. They've been warned about ICE and all of that, but ultimately it's still not going to stop. Remind you, it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that ICE haven't gotten yet, which means that they can come out the woodworks and just do stuff whenever they want. They can just come out here and do stuff. So most people right now, I don't care if it's Iran, I don't care if it's me, the streets, and illegal migrants, they're all waiting for Trump to leave office. When Trump leave office, that's when it's going to be on and popping. That's when it's going to be on and popping. Everybody just waiting for Trump. So like, you really can't see what's going to go on. Really, I mean, you really can't see what's going to happen in this whole situation. That's how you need to hear it. You can't really see what's going to happen in this whole situation when everybody's just waiting out Trump. That's all we doing. After Trump, you might see more illegal migration. You might see more people that's already here just come out of the blue, more crimes out the blue. And ultimately, the Republicans are going to be the one that push for martial law and curfews because no one trusts them to get the migrants out the country. The Republicans are most likely going to get the next term outside of Trump. Nobody trusts the Democrats anymore. Not right now. Excuse me. Not right now. So nobody don't trust, the Democrats at all. Nobody trusts them. So ultimately, what I believe, I can't see America voting for Democrats and putting somebody in office unless they come out with somebody like Michelle Obama, Kamala Harris. We already seen what she was made of as a vice president. She ain't even do anything. Tell me one thing that Kamala Harris did as a vice president that's worth noting. Give me 3 things she done that you can say, well, she did this. Give me one thing. Back to one. Give me one thing Kamala Harris did as vice president that's worth noting. That's what I thought. So why would they put her in office? That's why she ain't win. People might take a chance on Michelle Obama. They might. They might take a chance on Michelle Obama or maybe Hillary Clinton one last time. Them the only realistic candidates that can really come out there and get the numbers. Michelle Obama and Hillary Clinton. That's it. That's all you got right now. Kamala Harris, most her opponents is just going to point out what I pointed out. She ain't do nothing when she was in office. She came out when, I mean, this is how it looked to us. Now, do I know every little thing she did? Literally, did she do nothing? Of course, she did something, but it wasn't worth noting, right? To the community, to the public. What you see? Listen, I would be real if it was something to see. What did she do? That's all I'm saying. So who gonna take a chance on her when she was with Biden administration? Just her being with Biden is what people looking at too. Look at that. She ain't gonna get it. Now Michelle Obama is a threat. You know what I'm saying? She might get it. She might get it. Hillary Clinton is a pretty decent threat that's not dead as far as getting the White House, you know, but I just feel based on, if you look at parties, most people are just going by parties these days. They're just burnt out on, this all ties into where this is going. They're all burnt out on Democrats for different reasons. The main reason is how they handle the immigration problem. That's going to be the main reason why nobody's going to put them back in office. Americans are not going to vote for no Democrats, and they didn't. And when they had the office, when they had the White House, they did nothing about this immigration, because this is what people know. Democrats are pro-migrant. Yes, they pro-migrant. Well, think about it. Democrats are pro-minority. Anything that deals with black people, Hispanic or Latinos, they're going to be pro for whatever that is. So whatever their issues would be that follows behind their ethnicities, they're going to be pro whatever it is, pro concerning those things. They're going to be active concerning those things. So, you know, that's why the Democrats really did nothing when they had a chance to use ICE. I didn't even know what the name of the agency was going to be. I didn't even know what the name of the agency was going to be. But I knew that I was smart enough to know that they could use an agency at the time when Biden was president to go in to this community you call America and start getting the migrants before Trump even got in office. Trump was already talking about it. Biden did absolutely nothing worth noting towards the end of his administration concerning getting the migrants. He sat back and did nothing with ICE. See, I didn't know what the name of the agency was, but ICE is the name of the agency, right? Now we know. But you can go back and watch my videos on my other channel where I got like thousands of 2,000 something videos, and you can search about the Biden administration did nothing about the migrants. You know, you can look up migrant videos, and I got a handful of those. And I'm basically, in those videos, I didn't know what ICE was at the time, but I knew whatever the agency would be that Trump was going to use, because he can't do it himself. He can't go out there manually. So I knew he had to use some type of agency, and that Biden could be using that agency at the present time, and he didn't. And I'm going to tell you the reason why he didn't. And this is what's going to make you angry. Because they're pro-migrant. That's why they didn't use ICE. To get a jump start on and to get reelected. You know why they didn't get reelected? Because people seen the illegal migrant situation, and Biden was doing nothing. How you gonna get reelected? That's why if he was doing something about the migrants that even black people started to complain about in the Midwest, then maybe he could have got reelected, or maybe Kamala Harris could have got elected as president. But But it was no hope when they were sitting back doing nothing, because the truth is, it was their world views that stopped it. Yep. It was their world views. Their world views stopped them from being more aggressive with ICE. Listen, whether you agree with how ICE is handling themselves out there among the Hispanic or Latinos, they have to be out there. And you can't just let people come into the country that are bent on doing crimes, and you know, we barely making it. How they gonna make it? See, in another country, they would just shut it down. They would just shut immigration down. Our own citizens can't even take care of themselves. How y'all gonna do something when y'all get here? Inflation is crazy. Gas prices are crazy. What an illegal migrant gonna do? What a migrant gonna do? They gonna struggle unless they come here with a vocation. You should be able to prove that you got a good enough vocation to survive in this country before you can get legal citizenship. If you ain't got no vocation or no credentials or no sense of going to school, it's no need for you to come here. The American dream is gone, don't you see? It's gone. Ain't no American dream. What we used to call the American dream, where you could just come here and just get in where you fit in and get money and just easily it's a struggle now. This whole situation is a struggle. And it needs to be declared. It needs to be declared. And Trump don't want to say it like, he want to look at America like, oh, we're going to be good, we're going to be strong. Nah, bro. You're not good and strong. You got inflation, you got a lot of stuff going on, and if you were honest about that, that would be more discouraging to these illegal migrants. No, eventually, yeah. If you keep stressing that people shouldn't come here, you keep showing people the facts, they're gonna be a little discouraged. They need to know the American dream is dead, as far as what we knew it to be. Just getting in and coming here and getting money and just getting a little apartment that easy, like, that's gone. That's gone. It's more dangerous. Let's note that. It's more killing, all this crazy stuff. That's part of the death of the American dream. Because even if you get money, look how it is. People breaking in football players' house, home invasions, all that kind of stuff. Even if you get money, you got to worry about home invasions. That part. Once you get money, you got to worry about home invasions in America. You talking about, do you think this is American dream? In 2026, you get money, you got to worry about the home invasions. Think about that. You work all your life to get where you need to go, and then you go through home invasions. Do you don't think that means the American dream is dead? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Listen, man. See, before they start posting these people talking about America and talking about inflation, I was already talking like this. Now you notice, don't you notice? There's a lot of other people talking like me, just sitting back talking about America, talking about these problems. It's a lot of people talking like that now, right? Where they make these compilations of videos of people talking like me, but I've been talking like this. Go back and watch my videos. See, the prophet is already ahead of everybody. I prove it time after time again. I'm always ahead of everybody. And you know what I'm talking about, the videos where these women and these dudes be talking about America, the prices, rent, all the food, all kind of crazy stuff. But I always been talking with that kind of energy about all this stuff. You pay attention. See, you thought I was crashing out, ranting. See, they were saying all kind of other stuff until they seen other Americans follow suit. Maybe they didn't, they just woke up and I was already awake, right? However you want to look at it. The bottom line is, I've been on this wave, talking about all this stuff going on and how it is, and people were calling it a rant. They was thinking I was ranting and raging or whatever. Not staying on subject, now everybody doing that. I was just ahead of everybody. That's all. Why you thought I was tripping? Why you thought it sounded crazy? Now go listen to all these other people. They sound just like me. Why you thought I was tripping? Oh yeah, let's take note of that. Let's take a note of how they thought the prophet was tripping back in 2021. In 2022, 2023, now everybody sound like me. You know what I'm talking about. As far as people talking about this country and all this stuff going on, they sound just like me. How they talk, they thought patterns and everything. Why you thought I was crazy? Listen, man. The Trump administration ain't got nothing but 2 more years and some months left. That's all they got. That's all they got going. That's all they got going. They got about 2 more years, and they got some months left. Right? After that, you're gonna put another Republican in office, most likely. If you know what's good for you, you're gonna put another Republican office if you know what's good for you. Now, if you're stupid, you're gonna put these Democrats in office, and all you're gonna have a whole party full of foolishness, and everybody, even black people, are burnt out on it. See, y'all sound like me. I don't sound like you. No, y'all sound like me. I can go show you videos where I've been talking like this. Now y'all on my wave, because you see, the spiritual people know that's a testament that the prophet is always ahead of everybody. Everybody thought I was tripping. Thought I was ranting. Now how you feel? You feel like I was ranting? I just was ahead of everybody. That's just what it is. See, a prophet's energy is like the future. I'm always the future. You're gonna despise America? Watch. It's just a matter of time. You're gonna consider them an enemy just like I do. Everybody sitting back with their arms crossed looking at me. Give it some time. Wait for it. That's all you gotta do. Just wait for it. You're gonna be just like me. Watch. I guarantee you, watch. I give it 2 more years. Right about the time when Trump get out of office, if he lasts that long. Watch. You're going to be saying America's the enemy. You're going to be saying all the stuff, same stuff I'm saying. All these people getting gang stalked, you're going to be saying the same stuff. You're going to be saying America's the enemy. You're going to be talking about all the same stuff I'm talking about. You're going to have the same energy. Watch. See, if you had listened to me now, right, and before, you would be ahead of the game. The prophet puts you ahead of the game. I never thought I was a prophet until I received prophecies and they came true. That's it. What am I gonna say? I'm not. That's the only reason. I was listening to prophetess Juanita Bynum. If I was just bent on being a prophet, then I would have called myself that when I was listening to prophetess Juanita Bynum. I never thought about it. I never thought about calling myself a prophet the whole time I was listening to prophetess Juanita Bynum. Nope. The only time I started thinking that, just in case the Christian community is curious, when I started calling myself that is when prophecies came true. And I was spiritually mature enough to realize what that was. It was a prophecy. That's the only reason I start. That's the bona fide, and that's the real reason you should be calling yourself a prophet. If you got prophecies and they come true, that's it. That's all I am. Is someone who give these prophecies and they came true. It was something that happened after I said these certain things. After I wrote down and created wordings and passages of words, something happened after that. That's why. Okay? So I'm not saying it to be cool. I'm not saying it to deceive anybody. I'm not saying it to, to make it seem like I'm bigger than life and bigger than what I really am. The reason why I'm saying it is because I received credible prophecies concerning COVID-19. I received a prophecy that America has expired. And then 5 months later, COVID-19 came. And you seen how big that was to the world. You think it's a coincidence, looking at how big COVID was to the world, that I just received this prophecy, these words that say America is expired. You think that's a coincidence? Did I just happen to say that, and then 5 months later, COVID-19 came? That is the foundation for why I started calling myself a prophet. If you go look, before that, I didn't even say it. Nope. Didn't even say it. It took me time to move into this. Once I seen and I was just doing things, spiritual things, writing down stuff, me being a spiritual person, God made me aware of what was going to happen. 5 months later, COVID-19 came. That's all I'm telling you. 51 days before Hamas attacked Israel, I received a prophecy. 51 days. This is the second one. This is the second reason, just in case you're wondering. I receive international prophecies. That's the level. Listen, I'm not making it up. Okay? 51 days. And there's videos to claim to show credibility with all of this stuff. Right? People just were sleeping on me the whole time. 51 days. And I'm kind of glad that people slept on me, because I didn't have to deal with the trolls that a lot of people have to deal with. I don't have to deal with a lot of trolls and everything. That's why I don't really care if I don't get a lot of people. I'm gonna just get the right people. I'm gonna just get the message out. You know what I'm saying? That's the main thing a spiritual person like me want to do, is just get the message out in the atmosphere anyway. Because what's going to happen is going to happen whether I got an audience anyway. All that trolling that people go through, miss me with that. Miss me with all of that. Miss me with all of that. But 51 days, man. 51 days. 51 days before COVID came. Before Hamas attacked Israel, I received a prophecy. There is a big bang. There will be a big bang or explosion that is coming to shut down the systems of America, right? And that's basically the prophecy in essence. This is the second prophecy, right? Remind you, I received a prophecy 5 months before COVID. Not even 6 months, fully 6 months. It was almost 6 months, but shy of 6 months. The second prophecy, there will be a big bang or explosion that is coming to America to shut down its systems. 51 days later, after that was released, 51 days, Hamas attacked Israel, and the war in Gaza began after that. You think that's a coincidence? 51 days out, you see what I'm saying? 51 days prior to what happened in the Middle East with Gaza and all of that, I received a prophecy. Do you think that's a coincidence? From COVID to Israel and Gaza. COVID-19, Israel and Gaza. Think it's a coincidence? I'll leave it up for you to think about. Meanwhile, I'm not stupid. That's my foundation for why I have moved into the prophet position. Okay? That's why. Okay? Now you see why. Now, what you would call a false prophet is someone that has a moral problem. This is the informal definition of a false prophet. The Americans' definition of a false prophet is someone who proclaims to be a prophet, or other people claim they're a prophet, but they have a sin problem or a moral problem. They contradict themselves morally. That's not a false prophet. Because I can show you prophets that contradict themselves morally in the Bible. It didn't say they was a false prophet. I give you some homework. Go Google prophets that sinned in the Bible. Go look up prophets that sinned against God in the Bible. Were they false prophets after that? After the prophets that you find that sinned, my question to you as Americans, was they false prophets after they sinned against God? Real prophets that had real prophecies. Once they sinned, were they real prophets after that? Yes. Let's bring a prophet out of cartoon world. A prophet is not perfect. Not perfect, buddy. See, you got it in cartoon world. You're still dealing with a human being that has free will, right? Right. In fact, most prophets, from my experience, have very dark pasts and very dark lives, morally speaking, because the devil is going to come against them and attack them harder. So anytime somebody say they're a prophet, oh, they got problems with this, they got problems, okay, yep, that's a prophet. Because they're going to have unusual attacks. unusual sinful compulsions, unusual sinful addictions, unusual, key words, unusual dark things that they done are doing, or presently doing. And if you're spiritually high ranking, you understand why, because they are high ranking themselves, right? And they're going to be under high ranking spiritual warfare as a result. That's how you know. So when you do find a prophet, get ready to hear some dark stories. Get ready to hear some sinful stories in most cases. But that's not an indication of a false prophet. The indication of a false prophet is someone that prophesies and it doesn't come to pass. A false prophet is not someone with a dark moral problem. A false prophet is a person that prophesies and nothing happens. That's what a false prophet is. The Bible says this: you will know a prophet by what they say comes to pass. And I'm paraphrasing, right? It didn't say you'll know them by having a squeaky clean life. The indication of an authentic prophet, ask these people, ask these rappers. And I ain't picking on J. Cole, but do J. Cole know the real definition of a prophet? Well, he had the song False Prophets. He had the song False Prophet, right? So if you know what a false prophet is, what is a real prophet? That part, that's 7 hours. What's a real prophet? Oh, you got the false prophet down packed in your definition. Even though it's not the biblical definition, which is someone who prophesies and nothing happens. That's the biblical definition. You got the American informal definition down packed. You got that down packed. So my question to J. Cole is, what is a real prophet then? If you're talking about a false prophet, because see, you got all these ratchet people, not him, but you got a lot of ratchet people that's talking about a false prophet. Okay, well, what's a real prophet? You don't even know. See, you shouldn't even be talking. I'm talking about the community. If you don't even know what a false prophet is, what's a real prophet? The definition of a real prophet biblically, mind you, this is things pertaining to the spiritual kingdom, God's kingdom, and the Bible, right? Not your own informal rinky-dink opinion. What a real prophet is someone, and I'm paraphrasing, someone who prophesies and it comes to pass. That's it. That's the requirement. That's the foundation. Will a prophet sin? What you think? What do you think? And if you are aware of spiritual warfare, what do you think a prophet goes through in spiritual warfare? Oh, he got it easy. He or she got it. Come on, you can't be serious. We on the front lines. We go through more spiritual warfare than the average person. That's why we always stand by ourselves all the time. Why you think prophets by themselves all the time? Because nobody can be manipulated when you by yourself. Hold up. Why you think prophets is alone all the time? Why you think they by themselves all the time? Because guess what? If I'm by myself, nobody can be manipulated, can they? I ain't got to worry about nobody manifesting demons. I ain't got to worry about no demon jumping somebody. I ain't got to worry about nobody getting influenced by demons, and now you looking at me crazy. That's why prophets stay alone all the time. You know why? Because you're so high ranking. Listen, people get stirred up against you for no reason. Barely anything. It's better that way. God has equipped, listen, if you are a prophet, let me tell you something. God has equipped you to stand on your own and stand by yourself. That's how you designed. Just like a car got a certain design, a prophet is designed to stand by themselves. Stop worrying about it. Stop fighting it. Stop fighting it. You built like that. How you going to be a prophet and be with everybody? You can't do it. because they gonna manifest demonic energy. They gonna manifest demonic spirits or influences of demonic energy. The devil gonna come in and use whoever he can who is around you. So you got to.